Um, it's been a quiet week. No, no more ums. Um, it's been a quiet week. I almost did a single video for the new One Step Closer track Jinx. I was even keeping it in my back pocket in case I didn't find anything to do today. I actually thought I was going to be doing the Sleep Token album today, but nah. Maybe you'll like that one more than I didn't. But given the time of year and the weather, I was more than happy to find this today. Alright, it's me, back again. Just want to draw your attention to this new album by Erika de Casier called Lifetime. Never heard of her before, but she has a wonderful cocktail of West African and Belgian blood. Born in Portugal, but lives in Denmark. She even released an album last year, so she's putting in the work. And based on what I've heard from her other albums, she was more R&B before, but also open to try new sounds, which I like. I hope she sticks with this trip hop sound. It suits her voice, and I've actually spent a fair part of this year listening to old 90s Bjork and stuff like that, so I was primed for this. Apparently, she wrote Super Shy for the K-pop group New Jeans, which has 240 million views on YouTube and 700 million plays on Spotify, so I bet she wishes she'd kept the track for herself. But classic tune, and explains songs like Lucky on her last album. Kind of reminds me of like Tinashe's recent sound changes from her original R&B to stuff like Gravity. K-pop, K-pop, trip hop, trip hop. But this album is a different mood. If you like Massive Attack and that whole era of music, being British, I obviously grew up on it, and I think if you like that, you will love this. Everything But the Girl and Sade, all that sort of stuff. Yes, I'm from the 90s, couldn't you tell? I mean, technically I'm from the 80s, but I was fully in the 90s. I also like it because it will slot in nicely next to the Wet album that I reviewed last month. If you're driving to the beach or driving back home from a day at the beach, this should be the soundtrack as the summer wind blows in your hair. What have we got on the menu today? Warner Child. We've got 11 tracks for you, running at only 30 minutes. Starting with track 1, Miss. We are straight in with the dreamy vibes on this track. If you love these drums and this atmosphere, then this is going to be the album for you. Again, absolutely perfect for this time of year. And then we've got track 2, You Can't Always Get What You Want. It's probably my favourite on the album, with its bongo-style groove. I feel like I'm on that beach in Thailand with DiCaprio, repeating the 2025 mantra we should all be walking around saying, you can't always get what you want. And then we've got track 3, Seasons. This song has strings and bright synths kind of shoved together against a sort of pounding industrial clunking drum. It's very 90s. I feel like I should go and buy a Game Boy to play whilst listening to it. Could have had another minute of this. Track 4, You Got It. One thing I've realised this decade with Cassandra Jenkins and even the latest Spirit Box album, to compare the other side of my musical spectrum, I love talking in tracks. It made me think of when Nina Cherry did that 7 Seconds song. It's got that energy. Like I say, it's that electronic Belgian native West African vibe, like Nina, who herself was half Swedish and half West African. So something I hope Erika plugs into more with her next album. And then we've got track 5, December. Another favourite on the album. It sounds like Erika's just kind of free-flowing with her eyes closed. This chill lo-fi track does sound like it's sampling Enigma though. It's that kind of vibe. Track 6, we have Delusional. This has got a record scratch in the background that makes someone of my age stop what they're doing as their whole MTV childhood flashes before their eyes. I can see how Zoomers or someone might find it annoying, but it's got a catchy chorus and I kind of wish the track had a bridge though. Straight after that we got track 7, The Chase. This track samples phone ringing sounds that also gives me flashbacks to those Millennium Destiny's Child days. Maybe these two tracks were made in the same session, the way they both punctuate the music. This track feels like the most R&B song on the album to me. Track 8, Moan. Perfect title to grant me the right to say that I wish this album was longer. I guess that's the downside to maybe doing it so soon after your last one. But I would be curious what her and someone like Willow Smith could make together. I love the drenched drums on this, like they're bouncing against an indoor swimming pool. The deep bass had my subwoofer sweating a bit. Forget tracks called December, we've got track 9 here, The Garden. Spring, summer. I love some of the flows on here that Erika's doing against the splashy synth chords. She's the glue up against this sort of broken up beat. Again, I wish it was double the length and had like a synth or flute solo in it or something. Track 10, we've got Two Thieves. It would be wrong to compare this album to albums of the era it is clearly inspired by, but comparing this album to albums in 2025, other than, like, say, the Wet album, it stands out. No one else is really doing this sort of dreamy trip-hop right now. I could almost hear Faithless doing a verse on this. It's a shame it's got this random sort of ending to make you think it's got a decent run time, when all it really needed was just more of the actual song. And last but not least, we've got the title track, Lifetime, track 11. It probably won't surprise you to see with my washed out vinyl up there that I love reverb-soaked stuff like this to float away to. You can almost hear the vaporwave edit to this track, can't you? It's true, I may have overly fond memories of when all music sounded like this, so I understand if Zoomers might find this album a bit one note, but it's been a lovely little time machine for me today, and that's why it's my album of the week. It's really nice. And that's it. Short album, so a short video. I'm off for a swim, so catch you in the next one.